Hello, everyone. Karuna here. I just wanted to talk to you today about jasmine. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is doTERRA's 10 milliliter bottle here, and it is perfectly diluted with fractionated coconut oil to be able to apply to your skin on the same area of your body multiple times a day, every day, without any worry of developing any reaction to it or sensitivity. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It is so divine. This is actually one of the oils that just transports me back to when I lived in India. It's so amazing. So this is known as the essential oil of sexual purity and balance, as well as bestowing love and blessings. And it's just such a beautiful oil. Also known as Queen of the Night, because oftentimes there are different species of jasmine that bloom only in the evening and the darkness. And when you walk by, you just get this waft of jasmine scent. It's really incredible. It's a flower that is revered in India. They make garlands of the jasmine flower, and women will decorate their hair with them, offer them to the deities in different temples, and they're used in ceremonies and rituals. And they are also, jasmine is also used medicinally and as well as energetically. So we're going to talk a little bit about jasmine today. Jasmine nurtures healthy sexuality and helps to balance sexual forces within us, because we all have that duality, that the sacred masculine represented by the right hemisphere of the body, and the divine feminine represented by the left hemisphere. These are two opposing forces of energy, like the sun and the moon. They couldn't be more different, and yet they are so compatible with each other, as we know. So that energy can also be combative within us as well. So it's really interesting to talk about the energetics of the oil. Jasmine cultivates positive experience within intimate relationships by encouraging a sense of purification of unhealthy sexual intentions and motivations. And it honors individuals and encourages respect for not only themselves, ourselves, and others. Jasmine also encourages the release of sexual repression or resistance due to traumatic experiences through its gentle, purifying nature. Now think of these delicate white flowers. They're so delicate that a lot of times to distill the oil, they'll have to do an absolute, or like almost like a salve, and lay the flowers into a salve or an absolute and let them sit there, and the scent will be extracted from the flower, because they're so gentle that if you were to steam distill it, they'll just pretty much melt into nothing. So it reflects in that gentleness in the attributes of the oil. It also brings forward unresolved sexual experiences and facilitates the healthy healing process. So traumatic experiences, of course, can distort our self-image, our relationship with our own sexuality, our sexual relationship with other people. So when we meditate with this oil, it can assist in both kinds of compensations, so to speak, to help dispel fear or any feelings of repelling or resistance to sexual experiences. It's known for balancing individuals who use sex to fill a desperate need for love or approval, as well as individuals who resist sexual intimacy. So we have the two, again, opposing forces: someone who craves sex all the time and seeks out those experiences to fill a void within, and other people repel any kind of sexual experience to excuse me, to protect themselves. So it's really fascinating. So we have that masculine energy, the act of sexuality, the action of sex. And then we have that opposite, that feminine drawing in, like the shading of the moon, kind of hiding away, which encourages the masculine to come out and hunt, right? So it's really it's so fascinating. Let's see. Let's talk about some affirmations that we can repeat when we're meditating with jasmine to bring more love and blessing into our lives. And you can either repeat this silently or aloud after me, and I'll say it once and then I'll say it again as if repeating it with you. I am blessed with nurturing vibrations wherever I go. So nice. I am blessed with nurturing vibrations wherever I go. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. I enjoy loving relationships. I enjoy loving relationships. I focus on all my good attributes and amplify them. I focus on all of my good attributes and amplify them. I have the courage to step forward with joy and enthusiasm. I have the courage to step forward with joy and enthusiasm. I allow love into my life. I allow love into my life. Now, when we're talking about the spiritual uses for this oil, jasmine oil can be used to call upon the Archangel Uriel. And Uriel is called upon to assist in the realignment of the divine feminine and alleviate subconscious fears. You can also use this oil to call upon Saint Therese to help manifest miracles, and also Archangel Jophiel, who is the archangel of inner wisdom and beauty. Well, that reminds me of Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the Hindu deity of wisdom, abundance, and beauty. This oil also invites the assistance of Kuan Yin, goddess of mercy, and Mother Mary as the divine mother of wisdom and compassion. And jasmine helps you to connect to your beloved. And the soil assists in bringing good memories and pure teachings of the ancient wisdoms. And we can use this oil to renew our sense of self-confidence. In case your courage has walked away from you, time to jazz it up with jasmine. It also supports us to lighten up, to allow ourselves to feel really good about ourselves, right? And in cases of depression, jasmine is helpful in addition to take further steps to work through that depression. It's been known to be helpful in severe cases of depression, but it's also not a substitute for other remedies. It's like an assistive aid. Now, when we're talking about jasmine Ayurvedically, the energetics, the rasa, the taste, if you were to taste it internally, would be bitter or astringent. Excuse me. Therefore, it's reducing in all three doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha. So that means if those doshas are out of balance, it brings those doshas back into balance. And the energy, the virya of this plant of jasmine is cooling. It's a flower. Flowers are normally have cooling properties. And its guna or quality is light and dry. So we're talking on real subtle levels here. So even though it can reduce all three doshas if they're out of balance, it can also increase vata when it's in excess. So it's a little bit tricky there. And again, we just have to be mindful and really attuned to what's going on inside, to how plant medicine reacts with us, how we feel. Back in the old days, when people were discovering different plants and how they work food or medicine, they would first take a little bit of the plant and put it in their mouth and just taste it. And what did that taste like? Was it sweet? Was it bitter? Astringent? Sour? Salty? And then what are the energetics behind it? So we begin to form a very intimate relationship with plants, which is so amazing because they are nature's gift, right? All available to us all out in the world there. So much better. Okay, so when we're talking about the energetics, according to Ayurveda, its relationship with the dhatus or the tissues of the body is that it's related to the plasma, the blood, the bone, the nerves, and the reproductive system. And the strotas or the channels that it helps to alleviate is the nervous system, the reproductive system, and the circulatory system. So the Ayurvedic action is it's reproductive, so it stimulates reproduction. It helps to stop bleeding, and it purifies the blood. So we can see again how that relates back to the dhatus with the plasma and the blood. So it's biomedical action is it acts like a nervine in the body. It also acts as an aphrodisiac, a diuretic, and a blood coagulant. So when people are feeling like they need to calm, irritated, a hot nervous system, like for pittas are very fiery, they're intense. So this is good for cooling the fires within, good for stress or burnout, and also for insomnia. So it's best for pitta and kapha types when they are experiencing depression or tension or nervousness, as its lightness can increase vata if used in excess. uterus. Because remember, the gunas, the qualities of jasmine, is light and dry. And when we're talking about Ayurveda in relation to vata, those are two qualities in vata, light and dry. And so if vata is in excess in the body and you're feeling light and dry, maybe you're not feeling grounded, for example, or maybe there's dryness in the body, the skin, the nails, the mouth, the eyes, the reproductive system, then jasmine would not be indicated here. Okay, so when we're talking about using this oil for women in gynecological terms, it's a blood mover. So it moves blood in the uterus. It's beneficial for premenstrual cramps or reducing blood clots. So if a woman is discharging blood clots during her cycle, she could roll jasmine oil over her belly, and that may alleviate that issue. It also circulates prana and apana vayu in the lower abdomen. What does that mean? Prana is the upward movement of energy, and apana is the downward movement of energy. So let's think of when we would want upward movement of energy in the uterus. When someone wants to get pregnant, for example, that would be the upward movement, for example. And if you want to have ease in your menstruation and your cycle and the passing of that and the elimination of that, that would be the downward movement of energy in the uterus. So jasmine is known to circulate the upward and downward energy. So you can use the oil as needed. We're in different times for different results. It also has a nourishing effect on the very subtle reproductive system of the sperm and the egg, which is known as the shukradhatu, and therefore is an effective aphrodisiac, because if we're nourishing the egg and the sperm and someone is trying to get pregnant, this is a very good oil to use to invoke that nourishment there. That nourishment of the egg, taking in the sperm and nourishing that to merge, right? That merging it from the masculine and the feminine into the one. Its effect on the liver is cooling, and it has an anti-bile effect. So if there's bile buildup in the liver, you can roll jasmine over the liver and begin to remove that excess bile from the liver, possibly. So it'll help regulate pitta or ranjaka pitta. So we're again dealing with the blood. And it also may help heal the liver in hepatitis and cirrhosis. When we're talking about jasmine in relation to the blood, it can help reduce the skin and mucous membrane inflammations, which are high pitta and kapha reactions or imbalances. And it has a cooling effect on the blood. So if one has a tendency to run hot in body temperature, pitta again is very cooling. And externally, it can be used washing the eyes with a cold infusion, which can relieve burning and irritation. Okay, so let's be specific here. We don't want to put any essential oil in our eyes. We would be using the flowers here. So you could make an infusion like a tea. So you could do an eye wash and make a jasmine tea, so to speak, with the flowers and cleanse the eyes. And that will relieve them from any burning or irritation. And the essential oil is good for the ears and hearing. However, we don't want to put essential oils directly in the ear. When we're using them around the ear, you can just put the oil around the ear and just massage around the ear, even around the outer part of the ear, as well as around the bone of the skull, around the opening of the ear canal there. Okay. So according to this herbal book that I have in reference to Ayurveda, and I also have Robert Tisserand's Essential Oil Safety, there's no counterindication, no drug or herb interactions known, I should say. And you want to be cautious using it during pregnancy because it can cause coldness or high vata. And notes on jasmine is that it's a creeper plant producing an abundance of flowers. So if you've ever seen this plant grow, it's typically growing in India or subtropical countries like that, or climates. And I have a friend who's actually growing a jasmine plant in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in her apartment. So with enough love and attention, you can grow anything, even in your home. Excuse me. It's an excellent herb to include alongside your spiritual practice. It's a great oil to meditate with. Use it as an offering in replacement of incense, and you can drink the tea or put it in your diffuser and really invoke a sense of sensuality, that sense of sacredness and safety in your space. When I was talking about solvents, you want to beware of chemical solvents and absolutes of jasmine and the extraction of jasmine. So it's very easy to adulterate this essential oil because it's so expensive. It's very hard to come by. So one indication, if it's not pure, is the price. If it's not through the roof expensive, it's probably not pure jasmine. And you don't want to ever take that internally if you're not using the highest quality essential oil. The Latin name, I just want to end with this because it's such an amazing name. Jasminium grandiflora. It's like a grand flower, but it's pequeño. It's very little. It's like maybe this big around. Bigger. Yeah. And they're so delicate. Here, let me show you a little picture of it. This is one variation. Some of the petals in jasmine are more lean and slender, more narrow, more delicate. So it just depends on the species of jasmine that we're talking about. So I hope that when you use this for alleviating depression, you can put it on the pulse points of your wrists, your neck, the base of your brainstem. I like to make a heart shape over my heart. And you can also put it on the soles of your feet. And when we put essential oils on the soles of the feet, they're absorbed into the body within 2 minutes. And it goes through the bloodstream to every single cell in your body within 20 minutes. So it is an amazing plant. One of my favorites. Goddess of the night, queen of the night, jasmine. Thanks so much for being here, friends. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask, write them in the comments. If you like this video, please like it, thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I try to do these every week on Wednesday at noon Mountain Time. And stay tuned for more. Next week, we've got juniper berry coming up. Namaste.